Okay, all right, here we go. Ready or not? So, we got one more thing to follow here today. Well, let me adjust that. So, yeah, we want to follow the descents of Nimrod into America because there are three major crossings into America. So let's go to the information. Let's go up here. Now, if you will notice, keep in mind this date here, about 15,000 years. This is the crossing of the Medes, but the crossing of the descendants of Nimrod, this is the Y haplogroup, are going to be, let's see, which one should I get? I don't know if I should go individually or not. Oops, sorry about that. I think what I gotta do, I gotta choose a specific lineage here. I don't know, I think it's this one. Anyway, not sure, we'll find out. Now we'll have to choose another one. And let me see. Is it this one? I guess it is. Okay. Well, this is the crossing of Nimrod, though they're suggesting that it crossed the Pacific Ocean, but I'm thinking it crossed the other way because farther back in time you go, the more these haplogroups would have been closer to Mesopotamia. So if you go back, well, not 10,000 years, but I mean, this is actually 20,000 years. Hold on a second. I think. Okay, we got, well, it's 16,000 years. I don't know, maybe it was about the time, maybe it was about the same time as the Medes crossed over. But some of the mitochondrial DNA goes back 20,000 years. And I think this is all we have for Nimrod, but it's only one sample. So if there was more samples, the lineages might be older. At any rate, let's just go with that. I don't know, let's say it's 20,000 years ago. I mean, cut in half, which is 10,000, well, realistically speaking, you have to cut it in half twice to get it down to a reasonable age, more or less. But I think this is the only one, this is the only lineage you have that actually reaches America, but with the exception of the mitochondrial DNA. And we saw the Q was not quite 15,000, this is 16,000 years ago, which, of course, if you cut it in half a couple of times, it'll get down to closer to where it's at, or where it should be. So let's go to the mitochondrial DNA and follow that. Because I'm thinking the Olmecs were here first, and the Olmecs are descendants of Nimrod. And I'm thinking that they not only built or though carved out the Olmec heads, but they also built some of these megaliths in South America as well, as evidenced by the mitochondrial DNA. Because the mitochondrial DNA goes back way too far. Now, if you go with the A haplogroup, the A, which is of the Medes, it has two conflicting dates or two different dates of crossing, it seems, and the other ones do too. So let me see if anybody's around. Oh, we got David back. He's back again. Welcome back, David. So this is, I'm trying to follow the migrations of Nimrod into America. So this lineage here is the A lineage, of course. We'll go back. And when they first get here, it's about, what, 10,000 years ago. But I'm thinking that was the first crossing of the A lineage. And I'm thinking that it crossed with the descendants of Nimrod. So you go forward in time, and you can see they're already in South America. Go forward in time, and then, well, they're coming back, you know. Well, let's go way back. Okay, so let's go back. This is like 20,000 years. And they're already in America 20,000 years. And if you go forward in time, yeah, this is right. So this lineage here is like an unknown lineage how it got to America, but I believe it was with Nimrod. So now I remember how I was thinking. So this is 20,000 years ago. That's the lineage that came with Nimrod. And then when this lineage pops up, it's 10,000 years ago. All right? Pops up about 10,000 years ago, 10,400 years ago, and immediately spreads out from there. So I'm thinking that 10,000 year marker is when the Medes came over, which was the major lineage. I mean, the greater population. So we'll backtrack again. These were the descendants of Nimrod that were already there. And when this one shows up here in Central America, 10,400 years ago, that is the migration with the Medes, which spreads out from there, which is a large population, or at least they seem to be a large population. Anyway, so let's go to the C, mitochondrial DNA. See if we can see a similar pattern. And of course, I'm still kind of speculating a little bit, but it seems to be falling in place that when the descendants of Nimrod came, they had to travel with somebody. So, and it had to have been Eurasian, basically, and or Semitic, but you know, because the A is Semitic. But you can almost see better with the Eurasian lineage, mitochondrial lineages. So this is the C. This is Eurasian. And we kind of have the same thing. 20,000 years ago, it's already there. and right away it connects to a lineage, a C lineage. So we go forward in time. Then there's another one about 10,300 years ago. So I'm thinking that 10,300 years ago is the population that arrived with Madai, if it didn't backtrack the other way. I might be backtracking the other way anyway. Now this looks like it's going forward in time. The blue one looks like it's going forward in time. I mean forward. Anyways, it's all tentative. I gotta actually let me do this. I gotta put the peoples in there, the daughters in there. Maybe I can make more sense of it if I have the daughters in there. Okay, try it again. So there's a lineage that comes over. Looks like, no, hard to tell. I have to look at it carefully, a little bit more careful. Look at each different lineage. Maybe I can make more sense of it. But anyways, about 10. Yeah, that seems to be backtracking. This brown lineage seems to be backtracking there. That one's going forward to America. Maybe that crossed over with the Medes. I don't know. About 10,000 years ago, right there. The blue one. Maybe the blue one crossed over. Okay. So let's go to the D. D lineage. And see if we can see something better. Because the problem is that you have megaliths. You had to have a huge population in South America to build megaliths. And I'm thinking they already crossed over with the descendants of Nimrod, probably through the Atlantic. The way it's shown here, but the other C haplogroup said it jumped the Pacific, but I'm thinking it probably crossed through the Atlantic. And of course, all the information is not here. This is not complete information because the C haplogroup of the Y chromosome is up in the Nadene region in North America, which is not showing up in this information. So it's not complete information here. So this is the D. Let's see if we can see something similar, or I'm thinking that this is mostly associated with the descendants of Nimrod because of how far back it goes into time. Okay. Let's see if we can get this to move. There we go. Going back into time. It'll work. Okay. Again, it goes back 20,000 years. So I'm thinking this is the original or the first crossing across the Atlantic by way of the descendants of Nimrod, which went through Europe, were in Europe, and crossed over from the Mediterranean. Okay, we go forward in time. Okay, that's 16,000. maybe, let's see. Hard to say. There's 10,000. It's hard to say, but we'll know the Asian ones. Oh, okay, this is the D. This is the D mitochondrial off the coast of Africa right here, which later jumps to South America. Anyways, I guess we got more study to do. I have to break down the lineages individually and see if I can follow them better. Because this is getting slow right here. And I think maybe this computer's slower too, anyways. So, see what David has to say here. Okay, let's follow the D paternal. We'll follow D paternal to the Jomons. So D1B, Ainu, and the DO, the Nigerian, Southern Bantu Coast Delta. Yeah, let's look at the D paternal lineage. Okay, the O is Magog, descendants of Magog, and then the D2 would be the descendants of the Canaanite tribe of Sanim. But let's just double check with the D haplogroup. We're in the mitochondrial. Let's go to the Y chromosome. We'll follow the D haplogroup, see where it goes. That might be interesting as well. So, there we go. Now it's a Y chromosome, and it's the D haplogroup. I'll just do the whole thing, the whole kit and caboodle. And, of course, we have the areas where they are found. And that's about it. So, yeah, it's the mitochondrial that goes off the coast of Africa to South America. But apparently the D Y chromosome doesn't. At least not with the information we have right now. Let's go back in time. Okay. Let's just go ahead and isolate this lineage over here. This is the lineage that went into Japan. Okay. And, wow, it's hard to follow it that way. Why is that? Oh, there it is. Okay. That's what happened. Okay, so here we have this lineage here, all the way back in time. Oh, 46,000 years ago. 46,000 years ago. That's a nice story. Okay, and then it begins to spread out. 41,000 years ago. And you can see the two different directions that it takes. One to Japan and spreads out in Japan first, which is the Jomons, the Ainu Japanese. And then it goes into Tibet. And up, looks like it was up in the Altai region up there. close to the Altai region anyway. But it was either the D or the C that became the Descendants. I'm thinking maybe it was the C, because it's a mixture of Hamitic and Eurasian. We got dust here somehow on my mouse. There we go. All right, so that's the lineage of the D, the Jomon Tibetans and Japanese. First goes into Japan. Well, of course, they're saying way back in time, 46,000 years ago. 41,000, or it's 29. Okay. 20,000 years ago. Goes to Japan, spreads out. Then it goes to Tibet as well. And then it spreads to mainland China, where there's also the Jomon Altai, or Jomon people in mainland China as well. And it seems to me that they were pushed up north in northern Japan, where they are today, because they were pushed out by the O haplogroup, which is Mongol. This is the Sinite tribe, which is a Canaanite tribe, which used to live in the land of sin in Saudi Arabia here, land of sin, and then they traveled around by way of the ocean, around to the Andamanese Islands. Actually, they say that they moved to the Andamanese Islands at a later time. Let's move in a little bit, see what happens. Maybe we can make more sense of this. All right. So let's backtrack again. Okay. So they went to the mainland China and started spreading out mainland. Then they went to Japan. Then they started spreading, well, they went to the Philippines. Then they started spreading out in Tibet, where they are. And then, according to their timeline, they moved down to the Andamanese Islands, where the Andamanese are. Then they spread out some more. So those are the travels of the D haplogroup. Now we have, this is DZ3660. This is DY15407. Over here is DP99. Actually, let's back up a little bit. Okay, that should be enough. So this is DCTS 11,577. This is DZ 3660. In Japan is DM64.1. Of course, this is not all the information. This is just various lineages. It's not a complete picture by no means. And there's BY 138470 or whatever, 74. FY 103523. There's DN1. DN1 is toward Tibet. This one in the Philippines is a YF003778. Move forward in time. There's DP99, F1031, and some others. Then the ones that went to the Andaman Islands are Y3467, 637, and so forth and so on. So forth. Okay. The D, Nigeria, African American, Saudi Arabia, Syria. Yeah, like I said, it's not a complete picture. The D2, and it's even hard to follow. It's even hard to follow if you try to find. You have to look at a whole bunch of different haplogroups. There's D1, Andaman Islands, A2B, Java people. Haplogroup term DO, and 3 Nigerians. So yeah, it's by no means a complete picture. Why modern Egyptians upset that recently discovered haplogroup DO found in Nigerians shows that haplogroup DE originated in East Africa and not in Eurasia. Well, the DE, the Y, the YAP DE, YAP separates the D and E from the A, B, and C, and FGHIJK elemental P. So they are their own separate lineage. Apparently originated in East Africa, but of course the D is of a Canaanite tribe, which, I mean, if D came from E2, then I guess that's how they said it originated in East Africa. If it came from E2. Chumash, the Chumash people, Native Americans are direct descended from the Yoman people from Japan. Again, I can't verify either way whether they are or not because the information there is not complete. But there is, you do see a D going to America. Don't know when it went over. We can look at those lineages again. Native American people of central and south coastal regions of California in proportions of what is now Kern, San Luis Obispo, Santa Barbara, Ventura, and Los Angeles County. Okay. Extending from Morro Bay in the north, Malibu in the south, Mount Pinos in the east. Okay, let's look at that again. The D haplogroup again. Of course, I need to spread out a little bit. I need to zone out a little bit so I can see America. So there's the D haplogroup in America, and that's, well, it's going back a ways in time. It's 2,000 years ago, about 2,300 years ago, which could mean like 1,000 years ago, but that's up in the Great Lakes region as well. So somehow they made it over there and became part. Of course, this is Hamitic in the North America, so it's possible they were elsewhere as well. If we turn up the heat map, we'll turn up the heat map, see what happens. And it's not showing anything here, but then again, there's no evidence I mean, it's not a complete picture. It's not all the information there is, or could be had, or could be found, or could possibly be found. So that's just it. It was an idea, an idea that I had that the descendants of Nimrod came here first, about according to their dating, about 20,000 years ago. Then the Medes came around, what was it, 15,000 years ago. Then the some other ones came around 10,000 and 5,000 years through, you know, from the north. It seems maybe. But there is in America, in the apparently Native American populations, going back 2,300 years ago, which would be 1,100 years ago, thereabouts. So I guess that's about it for right now. I just wanted to do an update on the different timelines of the different people crossing over, because it seems like the descendants of Nimrod, which was the Olmec population, also developed some of these mega structures, megaliths in South America as well, before the Medes arrived with their Q haplogroup, and had more of the mitochondrial A lineage and some more C and D lineage, maybe. But it seems like early on, the descendants of Nimrod were here, like about, according to their dating, 20,000 years ago, which is how they built the megaliths in South America. Because the C and the D mitochondrial lineages are more concentrated in South America and not so much in the north. So I'm thinking the C and the D came over with the descendants of Nimrod into South America, and they need to get some more lineages into South America because they're missing the Nadine in North America, which is a C haplogroup, and there's probably some more in Central America. And the only ones they do have is in Ecuador, which are the Auca Indians, which were the savage Indians, the Wauranis, the Quechuas, and the Wayus. They're all C haplogroup in Ecuador. I mean, yeah, C paternal haplogroup. CY chromosome in Ecuador. So I guess that's about it for right now. Just a little update. So it should be good to go. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. And we'll try to do this again sometime, maybe. And catch up on some more lineages. God bless everybody. Take care. Have a great rest of the weekend.